Hey, I gotta ask you, what was turning 50 like for you? For me, I mean, gosh, I was scared to death.
I thought, oh no, life is over, right? Because people tell you that. People say, "Oh, I'm sorry." They throw you a party and everything's in black. Maybe they come in black. Maybe there's a coffin just to drive the point home. You're old now, and this is all there is.
This isn't all there is. And I think that everybody who's turned 50 before me, and granted, I've had 7 years now to get used to the idea, but I think everyone has been keeping this a big secret. 50, turning 50 and getting older is amazing. I mean, there is so much that you can do now. Here are my top three things that I love about being 50 and older. Are you ready? Okay, well, the first one is that there's no more of this grand staircase. Do you realize we've been climbing one all our lives? This grand staircase. We've been working so hard, racing so fast. I mean, there's people keeping track of every developmental milestone we've had since we were a little kid. And then what happens next? Well, we start to go to school and we can't wait until the next grade. And after the next grade, it's like the next school. I'm going to be in junior high, or I'm going to be in middle school, or maybe you can't wait to get in high school. And then after high school, well, hey, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go out and get a job. Or I love school. I'm gonna stay in school. And you keep going there. And then it's one thing after another. After you're done with school, it's like, well, what's your job like? Oh, yeah, well, what's your career path? Is there room for advancement? What about a family? What are you going to do there? Do you think you'll have a family? Do you think you might get married? What are your plans for the next thing? Always focused on the next thing. But when you turn 50, things start to shrink back a little bit. And you're like, well, hey, I remember the party. I remember the coffin and the black balloons. The next thing's death, right? So what's there to strive for here? What's my next thing? And I think for a lot of people, that can really be jarring. Empty nesting is another time of transition here. A lot of people, they've defined themselves either by the job they had or or as, oh, I'm so and so's mom, or I'm so and so's wife, partner, significant other. We use these things to define who we are. And sometimes we lose sight of who we are. And without the job, without the kids in the house, without people needing us to fulfill some role in their lives, it's like, well, who am I on my own? I don't know. Well, let's see. I was so and so's mom and they're gone. I worked at this job for 25 years and I'm retired now. Isn't it great? But what will I do and who will I be? Who will I be? Who will I be? Well, isn't that the greatest question in the world? It's not who I'm expected to be. It's who will I be? I think that is the most amazing thing about being 50. Who will I be now? I can reinvent myself. I can decide I want to try this or that, the thing I've always dreamed about, because now I can be anybody. How cool is that? Oh, I love it. And it brings me to my second thing I love about being 50 and older. And that is we get to chase butterflies and play again. Can you believe that? Okay, so you might chase butterflies. The way I set that up, it sounded like I was going to say something really great. Well, this is great. This is great. If you picture in your mind a little toddler out in the sun, and they see a butterfly, this brilliant flash of color floating around on the breeze, and they're just amazed by it. That's the first thing. They're amazed by the butterfly. Then they think, I'm going to chase the butterfly. And they start running and they're, not quite used to having things work. They're not used to running, and it might be kind of awkward, but my word, do they look like they're having a good time.
It's not really about the butterfly. The butterfly is an analogy. It's your metaphor for that thing that lights you up inside, the thing that you want to chase after and maybe see up close or experience firsthand, the thing you want to kind of try out. Your butterfly could be anything, but what gives you that sense of wonder and awe? What gives you that playful spirit that you want to, just kind of immerse yourself in it, that you want to learn about and grow and understand? I mean, butterflies are absolutely beautiful. The colors get our attention and the way that they float on the breeze, all of that. But it's whatever does that for you. That anything that you can think of in your life that you thought, oh, someday I'm going to try that because, hey, that looks like that could be really fun. And you put them off until someday. And
Why not just shake things up? Think about that 50 plus person out there chasing the butterfly. What's everybody going to think about her? Oh, she's lost it, ever since her kids left the house. Yes, poor dear, we don't know. We don't know. Or ever since she retired, I think this is a midlife crisis he's having. Midlife crisis. We get to reinvent ourselves. The only crisis is for the people who are sitting there wishing it were them, thinking, I wish I could do that. Nah, that now is the time, which brings me to the third thing I absolutely love about being 50 and older.
and that is, hey, someday it's now. Someday is now. It's not later, it's now. I call this blooming like a daylily, a plant that grows and it has many, many buds on it. But each one only blooms for a day. So that daylily has a very limited time. And what we forget is that our time is limited. But the joy for me in being 50, maybe it sounds a little morbid. I know my kids really hate it when I say this, but I like the idea that I'm over 50. Most people, maybe the longest lifespan average, maybe 74 for women, little less for men. Maybe it's getting higher or lower, but that's, kind of where it was. And I think, okay, well, that means I got 24, 25 years left, maybe? I don't know. Those years are slipping away. I've lived over half of that. And the time does really seem to be now if I'm going to do anything. Because the older I get, my health could decline. Anything could happen, really. And I better do it now. There's a sense of urgency. But really, this idea that we've got till 75 or we've got any time has always been wrong. We can't guarantee our next breath. It's all a gift. And it's what we choose to do with it. And we're being defined by things that aren't inside of us, by how we perform, by what we do instead of our sense of being. I think that's where we can get lost and lose some happiness, because then it's dependent upon what other people think and how well we do and who we are as a person is graded. Because, oh, well, I'm a breadwinner. Where do I fall in how much I make? Or I'm a mom. Well, how well did I do with that? Have there been any issues? Who's deciding that one? But with this one, well, who are you? I am someone who likes to play. I am endlessly curious about everything. I want to try and do almost everything. And those are the things I love with all my heart. Those are the things we should define ourselves by. And the nice thing about being over 50 is that we have no more staircase. So we have the time, those responsibilities, those jobs. That's not what people are judging us by. We can act like a child. We can do whatever we want to do. And oh, well, she's getting older, a built-in excuse, right? I love the fact I'm an artist. People say, oh, well, she's an artist. I'll claim that proudly any day of the week. And when you look at the sense of urgency, the 50s really are the best time. Your someday is now. And what are you going to do? You are going to fully live. You're going to reinvent yourself and you're going to do all the things you'd like. This channel, that's what it's about. It's actually two things. It's my commitment to fully living. I want to go out there and do all these things and try all these things. And me telling you that that's what I'm going to do, well, it kind of puts me on notice that that's what I have to do. I'm all right with that. It also hopefully will serve as inspiration for you. Because if you see me try things, it's not going to be pretty. This won't be like Pinterest worthy or your vision board. No, it may be more of a what not to do. And that's just fine. All I want you to do is to watch, enjoy it with me, laugh with me. Hopefully you can even laugh at me actually, because I do. It's still laughing with me, but it hopefully will have you think, what's something I want to do? I bet I could do that. That might be kind of fun. Those are the things I hope I inspire you to do, to kind of find the things within yourself that might light you up, that you can be passionate about. And I hope too that, I can give you some kind of things that help me along the way so that you don't make my mistakes. Cause, I'm going to make almost every one you can think of. And that's okay. I learn hard, but I learn. And as I go, I hope you'll join me. I'd love to have you here. 'Cause now it's time. We need to make our someday now.